Hello everyone. I would first like to address that this is a pre-recorded webinar. Everybody will be muted during the session. However, we will be taking questions via the questions panel on the right side and distributing the answers in the 3 days to follow. Welcome to the CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 introductory webinar. My name is Klaus Vossen. I am the Senior Product Manager for CorelDraw at Corel Corporation, and I will be your presenter today. I'm super excited to be here and want to thank you for joining us today. CorelDraw is celebrating its 30th birthday, and we've decided to mark the event in a big way. Before unveiling the news, I want to spend some time to explain where we're coming from and what our motivations are at Corel that drive CorelDraw. It all starts with you. You, our CorelDraw users, are very diverse, both geographically as well as in what industries they work in and the outputs they produce. Each year we do a global artwork callout where we receive fabulous creations from incredibly talented users from around the world. This is a cross-section of some of the artwork we received in our most recent callout, and it demonstrates the broad range of outputs of CorelDraw users create. It's a real pleasure to see the creativity from our users. Thank you very much for contributing to that artwork submission. Even though you work in many different industries, we understand that all the various user groups tend to have several things in common. Every user wants to be creative in what you produce, to be able to express yourself in a way that makes you proud of your outputs. You also want and need to be productive. It's very important to be able to create designs, layouts, outputs, etc. in an efficient and productive fashion without sacrificing quality. For many of you, time is money, and it's important to be able to complete your workflows in a highly productive fashion. Additionally, we've learned from many of our users that they want to be in control of their work and the tools they use. They need full confidence that they are able to use their tools in the way that they want to, cater to their needs, and through to the outputs they produce. Now, CorelDraw Graphics Suite, in response, must be responsive to those needs you express to us in the tools we provide, the new enhanced features we develop, and the way the software works. Similarly, it needs to be adaptive to changes and evolutions in how you work with your tools. Finally, it needs to be flexible to respond to your individual circumstances and requirements. With that, I wanted to set the stage. I'm happy to introduce to you now CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019, the latest edition of our flagship graphics suite. CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 focuses on 3 key pillars for our users. Each of our new and enhanced features speaks to one of these key pillars as we deliver an even more amazing design experience for you. First, it's about more precision and control, allowing users to work smarter and with more certainty. Next, it is about providing more freedom to explore and be creative with new design templates and new features to test the limits of great design. And finally, it's about more powerful and streamlined design experience with continued performance enhancements and streamlined navigation and enhanced compatibility. CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 includes many products. After all, it's a full suite of applications. CorelDraw, which of course is the best known product at the heart of the suite, provides vector illustration and graphic design, as well as page layout capabilities for documents of up to 999 pages. This means you don't need 2 different products for illustrations and page layout. Corel Photo Paint is our award-winning full-featured professional photo and bitmap editing application. Corel Font Manager is a powerful font management application that allows users to manage the many fonts on their system, as well as access fonts for their projects that aren't even installed but are available for use in the suite. Corel Power Trace provides a powerful bitmap-to-vector tracing functionality that is included within CorelDraw and allows users to convert non-scalable images into fully scalable objects with ease. And Corel Aftershot HDR is a powerful application that allows raw photo manipulation and HDR merge, including the ability to batch process files for users with a photo workflow. In addition to these core applications, we also include some other third-party utilities with the suite. Vista Photo Zoom Pro is a very useful photo editing plugin included with Photo Paint that allows you to upsample images to a higher resolution. Microsoft VBA and VSTA allow users and third-party developers to customize their use of CorelDraw Graphics Suite, as some users like to create custom workflows, scripts, and even products based on CorelDraw. In addition, we continue to provide thousands of pieces of clip arts, photos, fonts, templates, and fills to our users. We have been providing this additional value for years, and it's something that many of our users really appreciate to help them with some of their designs. So, what about the Mac? Years ago, Corel did produce a Mac version of CorelDraw Graphics Suite. However, it was a port from Windows. As a result, the Mac version never lived up to what it should have and was subsequently discontinued. For years since, CorelDraw Graphics Suite has only been available for the Windows platform. Now, over the years, many people would always ask, what about the Mac? When are you coming back to the Mac? Our answer has consistently been to use Parallels, and with the recent acquisition, now more than ever, Parallels is the best way to use CorelDraw Graphics Suite for Windows on a Mac. But we also know that Mac users expect a native experience. We knew that if we were to ever come back to the Mac, it would have to be a product built from the ground up for Mac OS. It would need to have a common file format and core engine with the Windows version, but would also need to be truly Mac from a user experience. We didn't want to follow what the other Pro Graphics Suite does and have a hybrid product. I'm really excited today to show the result of many years of development. Yes, CorelDraw Graphics Suite is now on Mac. If you look at this complex user design, let me actually switch to CorelDraw Mac UI. So if you look at this complex user design in wireframe mode, that's one of the submissions received in our most recent artwork callout. You can see that there is a lot to it. Many objects, many elements. Our Mac version provides the same powerful design experience as our Windows version, including all of the tools and effects. So I can zoom in and out so that you can see this vector design in its full capacities. Let me actually switch back to the enhanced view to show the design as you would normally be presented with it. When we set out to develop our native Mac version, there were three core mandates that had to be achieved. First, it had to be a true native Mac OS experience. It had to look like Mac, feel like Mac, and just be Mac. We have been working very closely with Apple, in fact, ensuring that we follow their human interface guidelines to make sure that the suite is a 100% native Mac experience. You can see here that we have full touch bar support. So you see the touch bar at the bottom of the screen. And when not selecting any objects, I can, for example, use the zoom to switch to zoom to page, zoom to all objects, or switch between the full screen mode that I use for presentation and the regular application mode. When I select the text, just to give another example, then you will see I have text features, text tools and settings in the touch bar. I can switch to italics, I can switch the text color, things like that are easily done with the touch bar that is close to my screen. Let me actually undo this and go back to the screen. Another thing that feels natively Mac to Mac users is the new dark mode support in macOS Mojave, and that is also supported in CorelDraw. So dark mode can be switched in the macOS system preferences. And when I switch to dark mode, CorelDraw application will immediately make that move, switch to dark mode, and support that for those who prefer that operation mode in the new macOS Mojave. Actually, for this presentation, I want to switch back to light mode, as the contrast works better with the screen sharing. Second, the Mac version had to have all the features that our Windows version has. There must be feature parity, and we have achieved that. Aside from some very minor elements that are only relevant in Windows workflows, there is full feature parity between the two platforms. CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 for Mac and CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 for Windows actually also come with a new programming interface in addition to VBA and VSTA, which is Windows-only technology. The new JavaScript API will allow developers on both Mac and Windows platforms to automate and extend the functionality of CorelDraw. Finally, the files had to be 100% identical between platforms, and we provide that too. A file created in CorelDraw on Windows can be opened perfectly in the macOS version and vice versa. This includes every aspect of the file, from object structure to visual integrity, typography, and color attributes and settings. So CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 for Mac provides the heart and soul of CorelDraw with a Mac attitude. Now, let's talk about some of our new and enhanced as well as most powerful features which really speak to the idea of allowing our users to be in control. And for that, let me actually switch back to the Windows platform, which I can easily do thanks to my Parallels desktop installed here on my MacBook Pro. One of the exciting new features in CorelDraw 2019 is what we refer to as Pixel Perfect Control. Digital workflows and designing for the web is of course becoming more and more common, and this great new feature allows you to create vector-based web graphic designs using a pixel grid, ensuring that the digital output has complete precision. Let me show you an example. If you take a zoomed-in look at a particular area, in this use a design in pixel view. Let me switch to pixel view, okay. And then zoom in here. And zoom in a little more to see how that would look like when exported to a web graphic format. You can now use the shape tool to select an object and align it with a pixel grid. This ensures that the final design for this area will be as sharp as possible, providing more precision than ever before. And I actually use the Align and Distribute Docker that I can open here to use this new feature. Just click the Align with Pixel Grid and you see that the edges are sharp and crisp, ready for being exported to a web graphic pixel-based format. There is further enhancements in this area to ensure pixel perfect designs and web output, and I actually invite you to explore when looking at CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 with the free trial we offer on our website. The next thing I'd like to show is a very important part of CorelDRAW and Corel Photo Paint. The new Objects Docker, or Objects Inspector on Mac, is really at the core of a design and contains a summary of every single object in your design. For complex designs or those on multiple pages, there could literally be thousands of objects. We have completely overhauled our Objects Docker for 2019. It was previously named Object Manager. And the work on this enhancement was so significant that we actually had originally intended to introduce it with our last version, but decided it needed more time to be of best value for you. One of the simplest ways to see how much easier the new Objects Docker is to use is to see the graphical representation of each object in the design. And that I want to actually show you with this example. So using this artwork and the new Objects Docker, you can see here there is a graphical representation of each of the objects in my design, which makes it very easy to identify a specific object in a design. The search function in the new Objects Docker is incredibly powerful, allowing users to very easily locate elements using search strings. So I can enter donut to search for any object with the name or the strings in the name donut. It searches my whole multi-page presentation file for that name and will locate any object named donut and isolate that in the Objects Docker. In a complex design with thousands of objects, this will save users significant time when working on their designs. And by the way, depending on your screen size and screen resolution, there is a zoom feature in the Objects Docker that allows you to zoom in or out to actually see the miniature representations at a most convenient size. Let me switch back to macOS to show you some of the functionality of CorelDraw Graphics Suite in action on macOS. For many of our CorelDraw users, typography and page layout are a very important part of their workflow. CorelDraw has tremendous power when it comes to working with text, advanced font capabilities, and overall layout for designs such as marketing materials, brochures, and other multi-page documents using CorelDraw's multi-page capabilities. This presentation actually is a CorelDraw file, and you have seen it's a multi-page file, so that is all supported in CorelDraw. And to give you another example of CorelDraw's typography features, I can select this text object and let me switch to a font a bit more exciting with regards to typography features. Support for stylistic sets and ligatures for certain fonts is what I want to show you here. And that allows users to get the most out of a font when using CorelDraw. So I can switch between the open type ligatures that this font supports and easily explore all the options and possibilities on screen. Just to give you an example of typography features in CorelDraw. Switching back to full screen mode in CorelDraw, I want to show you another application which is part of CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019. Corel Font Manager is a very useful application in CorelDraw Graphics Suite. It lets you easily handle, organize, and explore your typeface and font collections by giving you the tools to control every aspect of your typography workflow. Whether you want to find fonts for your projects, organize fonts for easy access, or manage unneeded fonts, Corel Font Manager has the tools you need. I quickly open it to show you Corel Font Manager on macOS. And it is, of course, included in CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 for Mac, and it is included as an application in CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 for Windows. So here I'm showing you Corel Font Manager on macOS with all the options that you have for listing fonts, filtering fonts, creating collections, and all of that. What makes Font Manager unique is its capability of indexing local and networked folders of fonts to be used in designs without the need to install them all into the system's folder. For those who amass very large collections of fonts, being able to access, find, and use the right font for their visual communication is hugely beneficial. And there is one more thing, as all the settings and collections and filters you apply in Corel Font Manager are ready to use in CorelDraw in your layouts. So here in the font list, you have all the filter functionalities and everything that you have just seen in the Font Manager application ready to use from your own collections or filter categories that you have previously set up in Corel Font Manager. Now, let's talk about some of our new and enhanced as well as most powerful features that speak to the idea of allowing you to be creative. Non-destructive editing is a very important part of design and has traditionally been associated with photo editing, whereby you can apply changes or filters to a bitmap without altering the underlying original element. With CorelDraw 2019, we are bringing this capability to vector designs in addition to the functionality we already provided with bitmaps. Let me give you an example. If you look at this user design, and let me zoom in here, and through the Objects Docker, I can search for objects named petal. You can see how easy that allowed me to isolate two objects with that term in the name. One is a bitmap, and I want to actually hide that. And the other one is a vector object, which is what I want to show you how to use non-destructive effects in CorelDraw with a vector object. If I add an effect to this object, using my effects stack, and I want to use the creative scatter effect. I can immediately see how this effect gets applied to the object, and I want to actually go with it big. So now in CorelDraw 2019, you have a new Effects tab in the Properties Inspector on Mac or the Properties Docker on Windows. This scatter effect just got added to my effects stack. I can do more with this. Let's add another effect as a Gaussian blur. And again, it is previewed on screen immediately, so I can tweak the settings as I wish. And then when I'm happy with it, I press OK, and the effect is applied. Now this effect shows as a list, as an item in my bitmap effects stack, which is new in CorelDraw 2019. And now I can do much more with it. I can, for example, use one effect and reorder it. Okay, let me do it that way. And you can see immediately what that does with my design when I apply the effects in a different order. I can make them invisible, turn them on again. I can edit the effects at any time. I want to move that down again, as that was how I intended it to look. I can do more with that. So let me zoom out to see more objects here. Using my trackpad, and actually want to move the design here. So I can select those effects and just drag and drop them over to another object, and they immediately got applied to that. And even more, I can create a style or a style set from a whole effect stack to apply it to many objects, or even share it in a style sheet for other objects, for other design projects, I mean. And best of all, this is non-destructive editing. So these effects all have been applied in a non-destructive way, and I can still modify the underlying vector object. So let me go to the curve editing, and you see here it is my vector, and I can edit the curves. It will modify the shape, including the effects that are applied to the modified shape immediately. I can move, resize, make any modifications with this vector object, change its curve, its color, or whatever I wish. This provides so much freedom to the designer, and it's a great new feature in CorelDraw 2019. And you can see that our beta users also have seen the potential in that. And again, I invite you to explore that yourself with CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019. For some users, a bit of inspiration is all it takes for them to get started. Included with the suite is over 150 design templates, most of them completely new, designed for 2019. Allowing users to start with an existing design concept and then modify the elements to suit their specific needs. And the new From Template dialog has been greatly enhanced to provide easy access to the included templates, as well as your own custom template collections you can create with CorelDraw. One of the most exciting features introduced last year in CorelDraw is the Symmetry Drawing Mode. This very powerful tool allows users to create a range of symmetrical designs from simple objects mirrored, such as this tiger design, which was partially created as a symmetry. And that can save a great deal of time, to complex kaleidoscopic effects in real time. Designs that previously would have been very time consuming can be produced in seconds. And I want to give you a quick example of what this looks like. Zooming into this object, which is actually a symmetry shape, I can edit this shape, and maybe I should go with the full view so that you can see what is going on here. You can change the number of axes, so that design has 10 symmetry axes, and I can go into editing specific objects. Let me select this curve, go into curve editing, and changing that curve will change all the curves along those symmetry lines mirrored, and when I finish my design, my changes will immediately be reflected in my symmetry. Another powerful and creative tool previously introduced in CorelDraw is called Pointillizer, which allows users to create vector mosaics from any number of selected vector or bitmap objects. I can bring that up here as an inspector in the effects. Here's the Pointillizer feature. And you can use any shape actually for creating these vector mosaics. So this could even be a logo, or a circle, or a square, or whatever you envision. This is very unique in CorelDraw, and many of you already came to love this as a creative effect in design elements. And other professional graphics products require expensive plugins to achieve similar results. Another unique CorelDraw feature that empowers creativity is the Live Sketch drawing tool. Live Sketch is an artificial intelligence-powered sketching tool that enables a pen-based design experience in CorelDraw to be as natural as with pen and paper. So the machine learning technology behind Live Sketch empowers your creativity by converting your sketches, your single strokes, into vector elements that can then be used in your design, applying fills and doing whatever you do with vector shapes to create designs like this example from there. While CorelDraw gets most of the attention for its power vector illustration and page layout capabilities, Corel Photo Paint is also an extremely powerful professional photo editing software. The perfect complement to CorelDraw, Photo Paint provides users with photo or bitmap editing needs in their workflow with all the tools they need to be successful. And let me switch to Corel Photo Paint to show you that application in action as well. Corel Photo Paint comes with the same powerful objects inspector that I showed you in CorelDraw. It supports layered bitmaps, lenses for non-destructive editing, CMYK and 48-bit RGB and 64-bit CMYK colors, and much more. And new in 2019, we also want to provide our users with even more built-in guidance and inspiration. As you can see in the welcome screen, there is a give it a try and discovery files that are ready to explore when you're new to the applications. So let me just bring this one up. And you can see in the UI that there is similarities between Corel Photo Paint and CorelDraw, and that is intended, of course, so that you can work in a familiar environment. When you're used to CorelDraw, you can use Corel Photo Paint in the same way, and vice versa. And here you can see there is more learning help in the CorelDraw Graphics Suite applications, but what I want to show here is the Objects Inspector, which shows all the capabilities of lenses, layered bitmaps, and functionality like that. And this file is there to be explored, so I can turn on and off my layers and lenses to look at what this file is all about and how this bitmap is being created. Let's talk about some of our new and enhanced, as well as the most powerful features that speak to the idea of allowing our users to be productive. Productivity, often a taboo word in the creative world, is very important to you, we know that. The vast majority of our users don't have the luxury to work on unlimited budgets and time when it comes to creating visual communication pieces. So getting things done quickly, yet with very high quality and creativity, is paramount. Time is money, and when the productivity of CorelDraw enables you to get more jobs done every week, the software pays for itself in no time. So here's how CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 helps to increase your productivity. The new version provides an exceptional new find and replace capability, which will save users a great deal of time, particularly when working with complex designs with thousands of design elements. Users can easily locate drawing components and change their attributes on the fly. An object can be selected to use as the basis for a search, and very detailed object properties such as color, fill, outline, and more provide users with the ability to find and replace elements with ease. All that is accessible in a very quick and easy way with very few clicks through the new Find and Replace Docker or Inspector. Advanced queries make it even more powerful, allowing users to find and replace even very complex project elements. Power Trace is yet another very powerful tool found with CorelDraw that provides tremendous efficiency in converting bitmap images to scalable vectors. In certain workflows, users find themselves with bitmap versions of elements, such as a scanned logo provided by a customer, that you need to scale and include in a vector design. And recreating a vector from a bitmap manually can be very time-consuming. So I show you how that is not time-consuming at all with Power Trace included in CorelDraw 2019. So here I have a low-resolution bitmap. As you can see, this is all blurred when I zoom in, so not ready for being used in a large-scale design. Now, with the tracing functionality of Corel Power Trace in CorelDraw, I can easily make this scanned bitmap logo a vector illustration. It has been one click so far. I could now go into the settings and try to tweak and optimize the settings. It has already identified and removed the background, as I have tasked it with scanning and vectorizing a logo. So this is good to go for now. And now I'm done with that vectorization. So this is when I can scale this to any size I need, or change the color, do whatever I want with this vector design. CorelDraw provides dozens of intuitive vector editing tools that provide full creative control and power. Users can accomplish so much in such an efficient way, helping them complete their designs efficiently without sacrificing quality. Just to give you a couple of examples for the node editing tools, or to give one more example, let's use one of the vector shaping tools in here, like the twirl tool. I can easily use to create effects like this without spending much time and without sacrificing quality in any way. And Corel provides very powerful capabilities with respect to color. Color harmonies allow users to use color theory to define the perfect colors for their design. And if you want to change your colors for a particular design, you can keep the colors used in Harmony and completely alter the color set used while keeping balance. And color styles can be created just with a simple click, as I can show you here when opening the Color Styles Inspector. And I can drag and drop colors from this object group here. It creates color harmonies for me. And with these color harmonies, I can now play in a very creative and productive manner to alter my design, create variations in no time. And these color styles can also be created and applied to ensure consistency throughout a design. As mentioned earlier, because digital workflows have become so prominent, it is very important that CorelDraw Graphics Suite continues to innovate and advance in this area. In addition to pixel-perfect workflows, exporting directly to WordPress and industry-leading file compatibility demonstrate this commitment to digital outputs and workflows. And for print output, we now support PDF X4, which we see becoming a more commonly accepted PDF standard in the print industry. On the subject of productivity and digital workflow, Corel Aftershot HDR is another powerful application included in the suite that provides raw image processing and HDR support for users that work with high-end photography workflows. Now there is one more thing. Let's now shift to looking beyond the desktop. For years, the design experience has resided exclusively on users' desktop or laptops. but that has changed. The internet is here to stay, I feared, and people are not just used to consuming information on the internet, but also creating things, collaborating with others. And that should include design. We are very pleased that with our 2019 release, we are taking the design experience beyond the desktop to the web. CorelDraw.app takes the design experience to the web, allowing users to work both on their desktop or laptop, but also on the go. You can upload your CorelDraw files to the Corel Cloud, then access it on any device with a major browser for annotating or adding additional design elements. And that is actually what I want to show you in action in CorelDraw.app, the new web app in CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019. I'm going to show you this on Mac in Safari browser, but that works actually platform independent on any browser, on any platform. So let me just switch to full screen mode. And then here's CorelDraw.app, the new web app included and integrated with CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019, both for Windows and CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 for Mac. In CorelDraw.app, loaded in a web browser, I can create new designs, create from templates. So there is a number of templates included with CorelDraw.app I can pick from. Let me pick this one to create a new document. And here I am in a web browser-based vector graphics app that allows you for creating any type of objects, including text, vectors. You can have images in the designs. Let me actually show you something else. I want to open a file from my cloud share. And this is, again, user artwork. So this design has been created in CorelDraw on the desktop and then loaded into CorelDraw.app in a web browser. And in CorelDraw.app, I can make annotations or add elements to a desktop or laptop created CorelDraw file. In this example, the text objects have been added here in CorelDraw.app, and underlying is the CorelDraw design that I can see here on screen and work with it, in this case, by annotating or adding elements. And then I can save it back to CorelDraw to the CDR file format and take it back to my computer when I'm back at home or in the office where I have my CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 installed, and continue working with this file with all the edits I've done on the go in the web browser in CorelDraw.app. You can see here on the right, the application is quite powerful. So you have a number of options for changing elements. And of course, you have the full tool set for creating vector graphics in CorelDraw.app. The app supports multi-page layouts as well, so you can take this further than just doing a single page web graphics, for example. You can also create multi-page layouts like flyers and brochures with CorelDraw.app in a web browser. There is no installation involved. You can use this on any device. When you have an internet connection, you can use CorelDraw.app with your user account, your Corel customer account that you are using for authenticating and signing in to your CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 application on your desktop or laptop. So this is CorelDraw.app, completely new in CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019. Now, let's step back. You remember me saying that we've learned that our users demand to be in control. Putting you in control does not only refer to functionality in the software, it starts before our users even start using CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019. It starts in how you acquire the product. While some other vendors try to force their users into subscription, we offer both subscription as well as the ability to purchase the product and own it. While subscription works well for some, many of you may still prefer to have a perpetual license of the software. Of course, business, enterprise, and academic licensing options are also available, as well as maintenance. And with CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019, we introduce upgrade protection across all the perpetual license options as the most affordable, best price option to stay current while you always own the latest version for perpetual use. And actually, our users on upgrade protection or on subscription will have received CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 by now into their inboxes as a delivery of the upgrade ready for them to use the current new CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019. You are in control. So there you have it. CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019, available for Windows as well as for Mac. And they both include access to our brand new web app, CorelDraw.app. But that's not all. We are also releasing store editions of CorelDraw as standalone application on the Microsoft Store and the Mac App Store today to provide even more choice, especially to those who prefer to subscribe to their software titles through their platform App Store. We invite you to try out CorelDraw Graphics Suite 2019 on your platform of choice. So dare to be unique. Dare to be bold. And to challenge convention. Thank you.